Happy Wednesday, everybody. This is Councilwoman Jamelle McKenzie, and I want to just kind of share a couple of updates from our council meeting that we had yesterday, and just kind of my thoughts, my feedback after the meeting recon, I guess if you would call it. When we had a much better meeting than some of our meetings have been yesterday, and I also want to thank all the people that had on blue shirts that were showing their support for the results of our November 2023 election. Very grateful for those Ward 1 citizens who wanted to come out and share their appreciation and support for me as your council person. I am totally grateful to you. I had a conversation this morning. Big Beach reached out to me, and I told him, I said, look, I'm going live, bro, because I am going to talk about some of this stuff from this meeting today. So I was already planning to do it. And thank you, Meech, for giving me the confirmation that it's definitely time to share. You know, we want transparency. We want to understand why decisions are being made that are being made. So today I just want to talk to you about some of the decisions that I made and some of the things that happened, and just talk about how our council meetings run. Okay. I know many of you that are watching have not been privy to meetings here in the city of College Park until this year. And so you may not be accustomed with some of the format. And so I want to start off talking about the consent agenda so that people understand what the consent agenda is. Consent agenda has been being practiced definitely from what I could see the last few years before I got on council. And the purpose of the consent agenda usually is to be able to discuss, or rather not to discuss, to vote on items that do not need to be discussed. And normally, and as far as I'm concerned, items that are put on the consent agenda are items that are already in the budget. Okay, and that now the department heads or the council members, we decide we want to utilize those monies. For example, I have a community enhancement budget of $100,000 for 2024, 2025. I know the projects that I want to spend that money on, but when I get ready to execute those projects or those contracts, I will bring it to the council, place it on the consent agenda as a budgeted item, but I will also let it be known how much of that money is going to be utilized, because that is one of the reasons we are having our council meetings and our consent agendas, is because we know we have things that we want to do, but we also want to be accountable, and we want to let each other know how money is being spent. So yesterday we had several items on the consent agenda. All of those items, except for maybe there was a couple that were just a little questionable, so we pulled some off. And I asked to pull off specifically the item that had to do with the drone program, and I'll get into that in a minute once I discuss what a consent agenda is. And so basically, people, as long as it's a budgeted item, so all of our department heads have met with us during the budget planning session. This is before we have the budget hearings, okay? We had a budget planning meeting, several of them. And that is when the different departments submitted the things that they wanted to purchase, how much money they wanted to spend. And so pretty much when we approved that budget on June 17th, which was actually June 18th, by the time when we approved that budget, we actually were saying, you can get all those things that you've asked for, but when you get ready to ask for them, we got to put them on the agenda so that we know that you're getting ready to spend the money. So consent agenda items, and I know there was a big ticket item on there, 700 and something. Let me see. Let me look at my agenda. It was $771,000 that was being requested from Cedric, our superintendent for sanitation. But Cedric had put that into his budget. He had put more than that. There's monies that were put into that budget. And so because he decided that they wanted to purchase that particular piece of equipment, we could put it on the consent agenda. Now, the issue is that once you reach your budget limit, you're out of money. And then you're going to have to go on the regular agenda. Okay. So consent agenda items are not items that we're trying to hold back from you. Anybody that wants to know everything that's going to probably be put on a consent agenda for the next year is pretty much found in the budget that we approved. You'll see it in the different line items, and even still in the packet. always look at your packet. All the information that you will need as a citizen to know what's going on in this city is found in that agenda packet. You all have access to the exact same information that the council members have. So I want to encourage you to, if you're really one of those persons that want to investigate and you want to know transparency, there is transparency. The transparency that we provide is the Thursday before a council meeting. In this situation, we actually had a council meeting on Tuesday, which gave people from Thursday, you had about 5 days, so me too, to look over and to study and to ask questions, okay? And I want to encourage you to do that and to understand that our council meetings are not designed to be discussion meetings, okay? We do discuss things, but it is basic for us to place ordinances, to vote on items such as the consent agenda and more, okay? There are some cities, and I may even suggest this too, I'm thinking about suggesting it, is that maybe we have one meeting of the month that's just to discuss all the agenda items, okay? But not vote. And then the next meeting would just be to vote, okay? If that is what the community is saying, we want to hear you talk, we want to hear you talk, we want to hear you talk about these items. There's nothing that would prevent us from doing that if the council were to decide that that's what they want to do, okay? But in the meantime, in between time, everything you need to know, or everything that we know, is going to be included in that agenda packet. So the consent agenda items are budgeted items that are in the budget, and we just simply vote on them instead of having to go through each of those items, okay? And the staff understands that once they reach that ceiling, you're out of budget. And now you're going to have to come before the council, and either we have to do a budget amendment, or we have to look to see within our contingency, do we have those funds? Okay, so once we went through the consent agenda, and I did ask to pull off an item from the consent agenda, and I had questions about it because it did not meet the criteria in my mind, and that was item H, 8H. I asked to remove it. It was consideration of an action to approve the drone training flight certification, FAA certification education extension program. And the reason that I voted, that I made that motion, and then I also had some issues with that, is because I didn't have the information in the packet that I needed, okay? I wanted to make sure that that soccer program, I wanted to know, first of all, what is it going to cost, okay? There was a company that is saying that they will give us the donation, but what is the donation? And then what is the expectation of the city of College Park? There's some adjustments that would have to be made at the Tracy White Recreation Center. Who is paying for that? What is the commitment from the city? And then if there are monies that are coming out of the Community Enhancement Fund, what is that? What is that amount? Okay. And I believe that you as citizens deserve to have that type of information, that type of transparency. Had I had that information, then I probably would have been able to either keep it on the consent agenda. I love the project. My husband is a certified drone pilot. We have our own drone agency, G-Force Aerial Images, okay? I think it's a great opportunity, but I'm a fiscal steward for this city, and I got to make sure that I spend our money correctly. Somebody said, well, what about the things that you put on the agenda? If I put it on the agenda, it's going to have a financial amount with it, and it's going to have the supporting documentation to tell you about that project as well. And all I have put pretty much on the agenda is a contract, okay? Contracts. And what our contracts are is we're paying a service person to provide a service for the city of College Park. And then we get reports back, because when they want to get paid, they have to invoice us and they have to bill us. So that particular item had nothing to do with the contracts that have been awarded. This was an agency, an organization saying they're going to give us money. And I wanted to make sure that program was going to be sustainable. And I wanted to know how much the city of College Park was going to come out of pocket for that program. The other, and then we went into regular business. On regular business today, we only had a few, yesterday only had a few items, and those items were looking at changing some of the licenses, and we did not necessarily go through with all of that. We did decide to pay for a John Deere truck, which was not in the budget. I did not, I abstained from that vote because I still had some questions on that. The last item that I believe, one of the last items that we discussed also was the license plate. Y'all that know me, I started the police chaplaincy for the city of College Park. I came here as a chaplain. I'm concerned about our police being able to provide the best services that they can. And I'm very concerned about the safety of our community. So I don't want anybody to get it twisted and to think, oh, Jamelle doesn't want to have license readers, tag readers, that Jamelle doesn't want to have additional cameras in any part of the city. However, the question again, and those of you can go to the packet, go look at the packet. There is no financial information in the packet that is saying what this is going to cost. And it's not a budgeted item, okay? It's not a budgeted item. And so we have to know when items are not budgeted, where are they going to come from? If you give me that information, y'all can get a vote from me any day. It may be a no, but it's going to be a vote. But if I can't get that information, I'm not going for it. I'm definitely not voting in favor of anything that I can't get information for. Just the same way my constituents, you deserve transparency. I need the information that I need to have in order to make decisions on your behalf, because I'm a citizen just like you. I just have been a citizen that's responsible for making some decisions. So that's pretty much my take on that part of the meeting. The next part of the meeting that became a little controversial last night was the ending of our meeting as we got ready to go into executive session. There were some concerns about who got the information about us doing interviews for candidates for the job of city manager. Well, everybody, I received the same email that all of the governing body members received. Did I receive a phone call earlier about trying to get interviews in before Saturday? And I'm going to tell you about Saturday. I got a call asking about the fact that should we go ahead and do some type of virtual interviews, because basically we were, as a governing body, we were having some issues about time when everybody could give a block of 5 hours to interview the candidates for the city manager position. Well, the email and the correspondence that we got was basically down to, we're going to fly these candidates, these top 3 candidates, we're going to fly them in, we're going to ride them in, we're going to bring their families in, we're going to put them up. You can't put them up for just one day. But again, there was no financial amount of money but to buy plane tickets for candidates and their families, and we haven't even spoken to them. Come on, you all. So my thing was, hey, wait, wait a minute. Before we spend your taxpayer dollars, we're already spending the money on these searches that we're doing, okay? City manager search is a little bit different, but we're already spending money for this company to do this recruiting for us. But now we want to fly all 3 of the selected candidates into, or bring them into our city and their families, okay? And pay for that on the city's dime. Now, I don't have a problem doing that, but I would like to see your face first. I would like to speak to you a little bit first, since you're going to be working for me, okay? And I'm working for y'all, okay? And so when this suggestion came up, hey, let's do virtual interviews so we can at least see and then make a determination whether or not we want to expend those dollars to fly those persons and their family members in. May have decided that we didn't like any of them and we would want to continue the search, but rather to fly somebody in and go through all of that on the city's dime, if the decision was made to go ahead, let's interview them. And of course, there was an issue at the end of the meeting, and I won't get in that because I don't want, this is not designed to talk about one elected official over the other, but I wanted to get the information out to you that the purpose of those interviews last night being virtual was, one, the fact that all of us had to be there. We couldn't get our schedules together, okay? So this was a time that you knew everybody was gonna, that's what my understanding of it is, or my reasoning of it. I'm not the one that promoted it, but my reasoning is we're all together, all right? We don't know how long we're gonna be here, so let's go ahead and while we're all together, give everybody the opportunity to meet these people, to see them, to ask a couple of questions, and to make a determination. And then number 2, in meeting these people, are these the ones that we want to spend city dollars to fly in or to ride in, to put up in a hotel, to pay their expenses? Okay. So just to be able to see the face makes a lot of sense. And that was free. All right. Can somebody say free? But anyway, that's just my take, my little recap on the meeting. It was a wonderful pleasure to award the Granville group. They've done so much and they want to do so much in the community. And we're just truly appreciative. Those of you that know me, this is what I do. This is what I've been doing most of my working life, is forging relationships, building trust with companies, corporate entities, nonprofits, individuals, donors, to be able to invest into projects or to causes so that they can make an impact, a positive impact in the communities that I have been in. And so the Granville Group is one of those people that have that same mission. They want to do something positive in the city, and I've got lots of positive things for them to do. And I'm glad that they are not just here for me, but they're here for any and all of our council members to make sure that we have projects. So we gave him a proclamation, and we also acknowledged that this is Hispanic Heritage, National Hispanic Heritage Month, and we've got some things planning that we can do, that I hope that we are able to do some things. I've been hearing some things that we want to do to recognize our Hispanic community. And of course, congratulations to everybody, all of those people. I haven't been able to do this every month, but our all-star of the month. And let me just, I do not want to mess up her name. So you know what, I won't even go there, because I do not want to mess up her beautiful name. But we do give congratulations to her as well. So everyone have a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. I've got some stuff going on with Carly Red and the emergent life skills tonight. I'm very, very excited about being able to bring STEM to College Park, to anybody that's in high school that would like to participate in this program. So I'm looking to get that kicked off tonight, and we'll give you more information on that. And we want to thank Carly Red, another person from our business community that says College Park is worth every single dime, and it's also worth my time. Thank you, guys. This is Jamelle McKenzie. I'll see you somewhere. If I don't see you at the council meeting, I'm sure I'll see you somewhere. Have a beautiful day. Ward 1, we rock.